Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura if you're new around here. So in today's video we're going to speak about how to deal with temper tantrums. Now if you've got children, same as I do, you have probably experienced many of these. But also just to say, I am not an expert in any way, but being a mum of two, I feel like over the years I've experienced quite a few of these. However, my children are sort of 12 and 8 now, so I feel like we're coming out of the other side of it. And I've been doing some research into why it happens, how we can deal with it. So let's get into it, shall we? So tantrums typically start around the age of 18 months and they are extremely common, and they can also carry on, way beyond that point. So my go-to advice initially would be to, if you do feel a tantrum coming on, I would try and find a distraction, sort of instantly. Maybe like, ooh, look out the window, can you see this car? Or offer them a snack, or play a little game. Try and come across very enthusiastic, just obviously to distract them from the situation, and you'd be surprised at how much that can bring the situation down. Secondly is to learn to accept your child's frustrations and why they feel frustrated. Feeling frustrated happens to us all and it's very normal, but for children it's particularly hard for them to explain what's wrong or what's happening. Just learning to accept that they're frustrated in that moment and explain to them that they're frustrated. Maybe take 5 minutes out, sit them on your knee, maybe give them a cuddle, and it will pass. So the next part, when your child is having a tantrum, it's really important to stay calm and not match their behaviour in any way, as this will just add fuel to the fire and make the whole thing worse. I know in the past, when you can maybe lose your temper with it, I have probably matched their behaviour and all it's done is made the situation worse. You are their calm, so as hard as it may be and as frustrating as it may be and embarrassing, because they usually do this when you're out in public, just try and remain calm and just think to yourself that it will pass. It's very easy to fall into the anger trap. This will just take your child much longer to sort of come back down. After doing quite a bit of research on this over the years, temper tantrums are very normal, but also they're necessary for that developmental stage of a child's life. And what happens is, right behind the eyebrow is the prefrontal cortex, and this is the part of the brain that regulates emotion and social behaviour. It's the last part of the brain to develop, which typically happens around the age of 4. So you may find that temper tantrums happen more when you're out in public, which is so embarrassing. We know that as parents, don't we? But try and stay calm, and also try to ignore the funny looks that you may get around you, or the tuts or the eye rolls, because we've all been there. And I feel like if you're embarrassed, you may react in a completely different way. You may get angry, you may want to cry. Try and remain calm and just try to carry on. Now, I would find that my children would tantrum when we are in the shops. So if you've gone to do the food shop or you are in a shopping centre, we found that that would happen. Not all the time, but it was kind of a trigger. So if you are finding that this is also a trigger for your children, maybe keep it to a minimum, because those places are loud, there's lots of bright light, they're busy. So obviously from your child's point of view, they're probably very overstimulated. So if you are finding that that's a trigger, maybe keep it to a minimum. So if your child is having a particularly bad tantrum, you may find that they'll lash out, so they might hit, they might bite, they might kick. If you do find yourself in this situation, what I tend to do is kind of hold them firmly and obviously make sure that they remain safe, and explain to them that that behaviour is unacceptable. If you do find that that's not helping and that's just making the whole situation worse, remove them from the situation and take them to a calm, quiet place until they've come down. So remember that you are your child's safe space, and they actually need boundaries to feel safe. So when they are having a tantrum, it's really important to stay consistent and not go back on your word. So for example, I say to my children, it's dinner time, come and get your dinner, and they demand a snack and they are not having any of it. It's really important to kind of hold firm on that and offer them their dinner and not the snack, because obviously in future, if you give in, they know in the future, when you say their dinner's ready, they don't have to eat that dinner that you probably spent an hour preparing, and they can have a snack instead. So try and stay consistent. as hard as it can be, it's actually what they need. We all need boundaries. Remember to still show affection, whether it be a hug, a kiss, or a high five. So once the tantrum is over, it's important to explain to your child why that's unacceptable. But once you've done that, we then need to move on and not let it linger. As I previously said, they are a normal part of development, so it's going to happen. It's just how we manage them. So it's also really important to praise good behaviour. When we do that, we kind of reinforce to our children what's expected of them, and obviously good behaviour can be praised, can be rewarded. So hopefully they will remember the good times, and that may just prevent them from sort of having maybe a huge meltdown. So by doing this, we can play with our children, learn to play games, and just create that loving bond that we actually need. We need that connection with our child so that they know that they're safe and they're loved and they're cared for. So just enjoy each other's company. Also, try not to take it personally. It's not personal. It is a very normal developmental part of life. It needs to happen. There's things going on in the brain which are vital. So don't take it personally. I know a lot of the time it can feel personal because we kind of feel that we are not parenting correctly, and that is not the case at all. So try to take it personally. In your mind, just accept that this is a normal part of growing up, and it's how you deal with it that's the most important thing. Remain calm, let it pass, and move on. So lastly, as a parent, it's so important that you take time for yourself because you matter too. So once a tantrum has passed, maybe it's been an almighty, incredible tantrum that's taken everything out of you and out of your child, make sure after the calm has resumed that you take time for yourself, because you matter too. Your family cannot function without you. You are the integral part of that family. So maybe take 10 minutes for yourself, grab a cup of tea, stick on some music, stick on your favourite programme. Just try and steal a little bit of time for yourself just so that you can sort of resume your inner calm, because it's hard. It's so hard, and I feel like when you're in the middle of these storms and these tantrums, which sometimes they can have, like, you know, one every day for a period of time, it can be pretty grueling, can't it? So I feel that as a parent, you need to take the time for yourself, because if you don't function, quite simply, your family doesn't function. Also, try not to let there be any shame. It's very easy for us to make our child feel bad for acting a certain way, especially when we're out in public. But I don't feel that's helpful. All it brings is a sense of guilt, and everybody comes away just not feeling very nice. Now, tantrums aren't very nice, but as I say, they are a normal part of growing up. Our children need to go through this process in order to gain certain skills in life. So don't let there be any shame. Try not to let your child feel any guilt, or yourself as a parent. You know, maybe I should have done this, and maybe I should have done that. We need to get through it and move on, because I don't think there's anything worse than shame and guilt in a child, and also in an adult. So let's just move on. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you find this helpful. I'm not an expert, however I am a mum, and over the years, you know, you feel like you want to pull your hair out with these tantrums. I say that they can have one every day. Sometimes you might have 3, 4, 5 in a day. If your child is feeling particularly overstimulated, or something's wrong and they can't tell you what's wrong, you know, everything can fall apart. You get through it, and at the end of the day, you love each other. These are your children, we are their parents. We want a nice, happy, calm home. So if we can learn how to deal with them and how we sort of receive them, I feel like going forward will be so much better. So let me know in the comments down below how you handle tantrums, if you've got any special techniques that you use, as I would love to hear them. And thank you for watching. Give it a big like and consider subscribing, as I would love to have you on my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.